The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation. Foundation.
Yeah, yo, Jordan, good finishing.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation, on this glorious Friday afternoon. Live and in full effect, you guys. We got everything available for you. Make sure you pick up your Guardian newspaper. Friday, December 8th. Royal Bahamas Defense Force preparing to deploy. King says force has received a warning order from the Prime Minister for deployment. Information's there. Make sure you check that out. It's also talking about the Commodore says that irregular immigration down by 22%. And also, if you look in the Tribune, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force recruiting drop over Haiti. Candidates choose other services amid deployment plans. This is absolutely bananas. Can you fight them? Let's talk about these things, guys. I want to thank all the sponsors that continue to be able to sponsor the show. Are Alive, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, the Deposit Insurance Corporation, Grand Bahama News, Kelly's Home Center, Ron's Electric, and Wendy's. It is a wonderful thing to have you in our company today. It's a beautiful day. I got to tell you about MLS. Come on inside. The ostomy, we had a great time with Megan yesterday. I think it was an absolutely wonderful thing, and I want to be able to commend her, all those persons who want to be able to give. We have the information for you. MLS, Ostomy Foundation, they can be able to assist you with a great deal of things if you're one of those persons who has a bike, because maybe you didn't listen yesterday, but we had a very clear understanding of what ostomy was, a colostomy, ostomy, and all those particular things. Shouts out to Nurse Aubrey Gator for being able to assist us in those particular areas and giving us definition, and also to Megan Forsyth for being able to assist us with that. Let's be able to, if you want to be able to be one of those persons who's supporting her, who's helping, who's going to be able to give for this, 805-3025, 805-3025. You can be able to assist in those areas. I got to give a shout out too. I made a call yesterday. Like I said I would, to go down to Butler's Funeral Homes and Crematorium to pick up my Christmas tree. It's Christmas time. Got to pick up a Christmas tree. Got to do those things. So I spoke with Alan Butler. He says to me, Howard, we got a time for you. So he told me when to come down. I'm going to get my Christmas tree and get those things done. And make sure you do that. It's just Christmas season, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're in the same shoe as me, the good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers, text me often. Mr. Grant, December is your birthday. Mr. Grant, your insurance is going to be up, Mr. Grant. So if you want to be able to have an insurance company, agents, brokers who are concerned about you and trying to be able to weave in technology with a sort of a foresight and what you need to do and always having you prepared, please give my guys a call over at AFS Agents and Brokers. Their numbers are 341-1-AFS, 341-1-AFS. They'd be more than happy to assist you. They're located number 407 Blue Hill Road South. They're there being able to do a great deal of things. Shouts out to all those persons. I know, listen, I know that you didn't tell me to do this, but I'm thinking about you this weekend. My children are concerned about these things as it relates to what they're going to consume, and so they want to go to Coco Plum Bistro. I just want to be decent as possible. That's a shout out. My children are coming like Tasmanian devils to eat, possibly on Sunday after church, so we can be able to do those things. So I want to be able to shout out my girl down there and being able to get those things taken care of. Good, decent people, all those guys. Guys, if you're in this kind of a position and you want to be able to get your stuff marketed, you want to talk about your product and service in the season, this is the time to talk about it. It ain't make no sense talking about it when the people broke. This is the time to talk about it. Let's do that now. The numbers that you can be able to give me a call, 827-0111, 827-0111. We're going to get those things taken care of. Listen now, I figured we'll end this week off with a nice cap, right? We'll end this week off with a cherry of a conversation because we've actually had the froth and the whipped cream and the whole thing. It's almost a political root beer float that we've been talking about for the entire week. So let's slap a cherry on it. Today, I'm joined in the studio with none other than my very good friend, Garth Roseborough. He's here to talk about the political workings and the wherewithal, whether it's an unraveling within these political organizations and whether or not we can see what we intend as we continue to move forward in this new era and dispensation. Garth, say good afternoon to people.
Well, good afternoon, Howard Grant, the Bahamas, those listening around the world. We are in the festive season. We're celebrating. I want to give my shout out to the civil servants of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is the month for 2 checks, Howard. You just got one and one is on its way. Just don't leave all in the store. Save some of that for the landlord, save some of that for your mortgage. But this is the month of 2 checks, Howard. Nobody is broke in the Bahamas this time of year, and he or she who is broke will find a way. Surely Santa Claus is on his way.
You think so?
Oh, I know so.
You think Santa Claus is on his
He ain't coming to no snow. He coming on that sand.
He coming though?
Oh, he's here. He's here. You never seen people who have been sad all year. They're so happy right now. The orphan plates are going to be full for Christmas. This is the time of cheer, my friend. And for those of you who have been waiting for this moment, I'm wishing everyone to have a very, very special season this year. And make some time to sit down while you're eating that turkey and ham and grouper and all them other good stuff and make preparation for next year, man. I think next year in this country, Howard, is going to be phenomenal.
I really do believe so also, right? Let's have a good conversation about what's going on right now. First and foremost, I want to be able to shout out a few persons. The 2 Shelleys. Yesterday, I walked out the studio, and was it yesterday or Wednesday? I walked out the studio, and the lady says to me, "Oh, Howard, I finally meet you. Oh, my God, you talk with your wife. What's your wife say? You can't have no friend?" I say, she told me I can't have no friend. She told me that every woman, she said to me, every woman is sick except her. I said, what? So I said, what about your mother? She said, full-blown sickness. I said, what?
No, stop it.
So I said, what about your sister? She said, full-blown.
No,
I
man.
said, hold on, wait.
That's too much
You
information.
grab me? I only trying to let you know that my wife said I can't have no friend because all the... So this is what she said. So shout out to the 2 Shelleys who's listening to the show on Wednesday, being able to talk about those things. Also, I want to talk about something. I got a call from one of my very good guests that always calls me. I told you about her. She's a good, decent woman. Praise God for her. Light-skinned. Talk to me.
Oh,
This is my girl. I ain't gonna call her name. I ain't call her name right
she
now.
light-skinned like you.
She's my girl, right? I went to her house a few times. She supports us and continues to listen to us here. She says, Howard, I'm looking for a husband. Hold on now. Hold on. It's the Christmas season. Let me see if I can put one little package together for her.
Oh,
she
Jesus.
says, Howard, I'm looking for a husband. So I said, baby doll, how I can help you look for any husband? I said, how can I help you look for a husband? She said, Howard, I'm looking for a husband. I said, okay. She said, there is a guy that called your show, the last caller, on Wednesday. I said, baby doll, I don't know who these people is. So she said, well, I can tell you who he is because he calls another show also. She says that he calls spiritual advisor over on Rodney show. So I said, okay, I don't know this. Tell you who he is. So, sir, I'm talking to you now. She said, he said that his wife passed away 8 years ago. And that he has a 5-year-old granddaughter that he takes care of and he calls all the time. This beautiful lady thinks you are absolutely charming and she'd like to be able to get to know you a little bit better. Is that good? Can I say it like that this Christmas time? I wanted to structure it. She said, Howard, I called. She called me this morning. She said, Howard, I called. I said, let's see if we can get a quilt. Oh, I don't want no quilt. I want a godly man. I said, this is too much. This is too much.
Well, you know her voice, right?
She want a godly man. So, my brother, if you're out there and you know that, this is the Cinderella situation now. If this shoe fits you, if you lost your wife 8 years ago, right? And you got a 5-year-old granddaughter, this you. You talking
you know
about?
what's going to happen.
I don't know what's
For
going to
most
happen.
payment people,
What's going to happen?
you ask, and it shall be given.
8270111.
See?
Text me. Don't call me.
And you will find.
8270111. My girl.
But when you knock,
She's my girl.
when you knock,
She's a decent woman.
when you knock,
I didn't introduce her to all my children and my wife. Everybody know her. She's called me regular. This is my girl.
I hear you.
She says to me, Howard, I am looking for a godly husband.
Yeah, but you ask, you seek, and then you got to knock.
My God.
Don't forget to knock.
Hold on. She ain't ready to knock. She ain't ready to knock until she get married. So stop it. You need to stop this. My girl, praise God.
That's the
for her, right?
Bahamas, you know.
Praise God. I'm not going to fight out. And shout out to Mr. Michael Hamilton also. He's a good, decent guy down. I put some great stuff together, called me over to his house. Listen, man, I do my best. If you call me, I can show up. I can show up. Right? If I got the time. So don't fight me. We can be able to do that. You guys got the numbers. 827-0111. 827-0111. We also know she ain't talking about Anton, right? Just a text is coming through. Yeah, I don't think she means Anton, right? So
Anton's a good, decent fella now. I ain't gonna lie. That's my boy.
I think Anton's married, eh?
No, sir.
Well, I don't know. I'm not deep in people business.
Not to my knowledge,
Right?
but I know one thing. He's decent.
He's a decent man. Praise God.
Man, praise God. Decent.
Praise God. So I didn't know I was going to be playing matchmaker today, but I'm not going to fight the thing. If you're out there and you want to be, listen, she is mid-60s and gorgeous. She's my girl. She has anyway, I'll let her tell you all the other information. If you want to be able to get mid-60s, she want a decent man of God. She don't want a fake man who say they're above God and then they got some
You
indecency.
telling me people 60 in the 60s still consummating marriage?
Listen to me. She
I ain't
ready,
asking.
she ready to go.
She can consummate this
I
marriage.
called her one day. I said, I know a gentleman
All right.
by the name, he's about 72. She said, how is he working all the way? So I said, whoa, this is a lot.
I'm trying to tell you something.
This is the Christmas season. We'll play matchmaker today and make this thing happen. So she didn't ask me. So I'm, hold on, these texts coming through.
One shot killed the crow.
One shot, kill the crow. Let's see if we
Yeah,
can do that. Well, talk about kill the crow on one shot. You and I had a conversation. He was my guy. We talking politics today. You and I had a very clear conversation about course of action. Now, there's some things happening. Now, I want to talk with a sense of balance to what's happening in our country. Right? A lot of persons feel like I'm lopsided if the only thing that I talk about is the Free National Movement. But over the past 5, 6, maybe almost 7 news cycles, the only thing that we've seen is the Free National Movement.
There's a reason for that.
The Free National Movement.
There's a reason.
Right? I'm very disappointed
In?
this course of action from the Free National Movement, whether by design from internal forces that seek to be able to put themselves in a position of power again, or by the lack of strategy, approach, and unity from the forces that exist within the organization right now. There is relentless deflection and saying that this doesn't mean anything. There's no strategy, there's no approach, there's no vision emanating from the
You use the
organization.
word disappointment, Howard. I want you to define the nature of your disappointment, because as a very observant individual, and if you're not correct all the time, you're correct most of the time in your assessments. When did you foresee the need for us to heal the wound or to bandage this wound? Because right now, we're going to need surgery. That party actually needs surgery. So how early did you see the wound taking place or the damage taking place that it should have been corrected?
You and I had a conversation about the anticipation of what would happen in the event that Ricardo Grant lost on November 22nd, 2023. We already talked about this.
Was that the final wound?
Right? I don't know whether or not this is the final wound, but it was the wound that you could identify the wounded gazelle. No matter the tribe that continues to move forward, there is a lurking lion seeking who he may devour. And there's no need to give considered effort. If everybody moving fast, all you have to do is wait and observe. And when you identify that wounded gazelle, you pounce. That's when you move. We know in the event that Ricardo Grant did not win November 22nd, the Free National Movement, or the leadership, more specifically, in the person of Michael Pintard, would have been identified as a wounded gazelle. We talked about this.
The reason why, Mr. Grant, it continues to surface in conversation, I like the way one of your listeners, Anton Thompson, put it. We are believers in balance. We are believers in true democracy. And in order to have that exemplified in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, you would like not only to see a strong government, but you definitely want to see a very strong opposition, a royal opposition. And that has been lacking to our own concern. And that's the only reason why we really talk about it, because we want the F&M to be stronger. We want them to be better. This is not personal. And I don't know why Bahamian people always feel that when you give suggestion and you want to give empowerment or you want to have a conversation about enlightening, that they always take it personal. It's not about you. You know, I woke up this morning. Why in that importance? Why? It means absolutely nothing. When you die, you're gone, and we move on. We've had politicians, Mr. Howard Grant, in the past. We don't even remember their names. We've not even remembered any contributions that they've made. And you know what I feared this morning? When you enter into politics, you better believe that there's a very high chance, Mr. Howard Grant, that if you do not mentor and take the time to insert yourself to change the lives of as many people as possible, you are going to be lost in the wind. And right now, I do believe, Mr. Howard Grant, you made mention that this Free National Movement failed to plan for the future. The PLP, you said, had a plan. You remember that conversation we had?
Yeah.
You said the PLP definitely has a plan. You said at that time of the by-election, you said you believe that the F&M had a plan. And you said the only people who did not have a plan was us, the Bahamian people. Now we're seeing differently. We now see that the F&M has no plan.
But watch me now. We talk about three elements at the forefront. We talked about the PLP's plan, which is evident. They're executing that on a day-to-day basis, no matter how you feel about that. No matter what you believe that to be. That's your business.
Yes.
It don't matter your feelings about that. The PLP executing their plan every day.
You said so.
Every single day. Right now.
You said so.
They had a whole opening. They cut cake. The fella told me they cut cake. They had wine. They did the entire thing, I think, over at Margaritaville, set the thing up just to be able to identify that 8 million people came to show you, to show you in celebratory mode that we are moving forward. The PLP ain't playing no games.
Man, they dead serious. They dead
Every
serious.
subsector within what they're doing, especially with the onslaught of what's coming over on media every day from the PLP, they have a plan. Now, whether or not you believe this is mine and they're separate, it'll all come together and bottleneck as we move closer to 2026. This is the PLP's plan.
That is correct. That is correct.
That's the PLP's plan.
Because even Mr. Sparky, your good listener, I listened to Mr. Fountain speak. And even him, he said, I'm PLP, but he's even feeling a squeeze. But even in him feeling the squeeze, what are the options? What are the alternatives? This is not evident right now at the end of 2023. Where is the opposition? Where is that conscience that says, you know what, we can do better?
See, and that is where my disappointment, at the top you asked me to be able to quantify it
Yes.
in so many words, my disappointment. The disappointment is in contrast to the leadership that we saw come out of the Free National Movement before. Okay, so let's say that you carry a particular name, a last name. Let's be decent about it. I'm going to say your last name is Doe, because I don't want to be able to emulate any particular family. But we know these names that exist in our country. There is a subtle, very quiet expectation that you retain and build on the legacy that existed prior to you. There's a subtle, whether or not it's pronounced, whether or not people say anything to you, if you carry the last, people expect you to have certain qualities, characteristics, so forth and so on. So they ain't gonna ever really say when you're doing good. But oh my God, they can amplify when you're doing bad because there's no social expectation that you don't do this. The ones before you didn't do this. Where the hell did you come from doing this foolishness? That's what the FNM is. That's where the FNM is. The FNM has had, even from Cecil Wallace, right? From Cecil Wallace, a character that existed within him. And to transition into this kind of a space. Yo, I don't know, you can't give me a call today, right? And to transition into a space, right? To identify stronger leadership, because no matter how strong and articulate you is and you unify people, if you can't win, you're useless to us. How are we talking?
That's all they saying, old boy.
Okay, so Cecil wasn't able to win.
Yes.
He identified Hubert Ingram. Hubert Ingram was able to win and garnered the relentless, undoubted respect within the organization. Hubert Ingram said, everybody shut up, say, okay, boss, if that's what you want, that's what you do. Bam. Then they transitioned into a new state of leadership, which people were indifferent with, which was Hubert Alexander Minnis. Right? We're not talking about Tommy Turnquest. That was very short-lived, right? We're talking Hubert Alexander Minnis, who had an opportunity to execute. And the very first thing he said is that the Ingram era is over. Would put a question in a lot of people's mind. This is the era that gave formulation to the organization. This is the era that actually caused us to be solidified beyond a casual organization into a government. What is he saying? Now, after his stint, 4.5 years or some, people are looking at him and saying, his era is the worst. He needs to modify that in your minds, to omit this sort of a time period in your mind and get back again. So they're going hard at Pintard. Pintard fighting inside, outside, and there are Minnesites. Can we say that, like the Reaganites? There are Minnesites that are committed to Minnis. Whether they say it or don't say it, you can see it by their fruits and their actions.
Before you take on your calls and go to a break, I want to ask you a question that came to my mind. It may be a foolish question, but I'll ask you, Howard Grant. If Hubert Alexander Ingram was the present leader of the Free National Movement, and you had an irritant in the form of a Hubert Alexander Minnis, what do you think administratively?
There's relentless irritants within the organization.
Yeah, what would he have done? What would have been the executive move?
Hubert Ingram, what I've seen and observed,
The human resources move.
Hubert Ingram never expels anybody from the organization. You leave the organization based on your own volition and your stupid things that you've done. Okay? He gives you just enough rope to choke yourself. I watched this over the years. I can give you the examples. Give you just enough rope to choke yourself. I watched this over the years. He's not gonna expel you. He is a consummate politician. This man he's a master at what he does. Now watch me. Right now, people are like, oh, Howard, right? He's talking with Hubert Ingram. Like, no, let's be very clear about this. Okay? Now what he does is this. He identifies people that are proverbial rocks in the organization and gives them menial task. You're still a part of the team. We don't shun you entirely. We don't try to shut you up, but we give you tasks where your strength exists. No matter how much you agitate and come to the forefront, he will never jive you and say, I can give you a chance to run in this particular, I can let you be a candidate in this area, that candidate in that area. He can do that foolishness. If you give out T-shirt in the organization, my God, you only give out T-shirt in the organization. That's all you can do. If you only can answer phone, he will not jive you and say, oh my God, yeah, you think I think you can be MP. Some people need to be very curt and sharp about being able to identify the qualities and character that you have when you want to be able to ascend to leadership position. That is what is destroying the FNM right now. The FNM have some proverbial persons who have moved from, they've never expanded, never gone, treated themselves and trained and learned anything new. They come from answering the phone, giving out T-shirt to a significant office in the organization. this is peculiar. And the only thing that they had, many of them, agents to the former minister. And that's why that allegiance
But you're
was
saying
never
that
died.
does not exist in the Progressive Liberal Party? To some extent?
The Progressive Liberal Party is, they're different in their approach to doing that.
Also.
Because
I want to be fair and decent.
they have small groups. I don't know the internal working, but I identify there is a small grouping. And if you fit the characteristics of this group, you join that group. As opposed to, there is no aspirations beyond their ability within the organization. If you articulate and you identify strength, PLP said, well, you know you're good. And they will cause you to ascend in the organization. That doesn't happen at the FNM. It doesn't. Let me take a commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, be a part of the conversation. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300, 5720, or hit me up 422-4796. We're just talking a little tape. Commercial break, and be right back after this.
Spice up your taste buds this season with the new Jalapeno Rodeo Burger at Burger King Nassau. Each bite of the Jalapeno Rodeo features a classic flame-grilled beef patty, pepper jack cheese, crunchy fried onions, and a spicy jalapeno kick, topped with barbecue and chipotle sauce, served on a soft potato bun. The Jalapeno Rodeo Burger is even tastier in a combo with our new half C's, half onion rings, and half French fries with a drink, or cool it down with the new and delicious Creamy Floats collection at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport convenience stores, Western Bakery, De Gregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
They coming! Dunkin' celebrates the 2023 holiday season as the title sponsor of Jungle Jingle to Bay 5K. It goes down Saturday, December 16th, starting at 6 a.m. right at Arawaki. Bring in the Yuletide with the Christmas race of the season in downtown Nassau. Dress in your best Santa suits, be it wool, cotton, linen, polyester, or even lingerie. Then let's walk, run, roll, and rush to Jungle Music straight to Bay Street. Form a team and register your crew. Jungle Jingle the Bay 5K is proudly sponsored by Tonkin, Oak Tree, IL Cares, Guardian Radio, the Walk-In Clinic, Radio House, and the Bahamas Humane Society. Register today by logging on to fourseasonsracemanagement.com.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, live and in full effect. The lines are wide open. Be a part of the conversation today. Or hit me up on the text, 422-4796. Let me take the telephone call. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Next call. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Mr. Grant, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yes, sir. And to your guest.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Grant, I hope I will not get personal with you, but I believe. Have you ever considered running for politics?
Of course. I ran for politics several times. I ran for the DNA in 2012. I ran for the chairman of the Organization for the Free National Movement in 2016. Yeah. So I have.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yes, sir. Just Google. I'm Googleable. You could just Howard Grant, it'll pop up.
Okay, can I go a little further?
Go ahead, sir.
That you will really serve very good in politics, but I would hope that would be if there's a room in the gold, the city of gold. I think you really serve well.
Recruitment.
I don't listen.
Now, can I finish, please?
Go ahead. I'm not going to fight you, sir.
Mr. Grant, the reason why I said that you will serve very well and you can help the city of gold, one of your colleagues, former cabinet minister, I was insulted by him yesterday. But little did he know that I am the son of the late, great Montana McKenzie. And I was born and structured to be an alpha male man. And he also put alligator skin on me that I learned from Mr. Piddlin, that for you to be a leader, that you have to have alligator skin. So I want to let him know, if he's hearing me, know which way he can embarrass me. The reason why I've said that, I am of the belief that you will serve well in politics, because I am of the belief, and I said it to him and he gets highly offended, that the politicians that we now electing are morally bankrupt and they do not believe in the traditional family. And he gets highly upset.
Ooh, this is
And I am of that view. I am older than him. I've been in the world a little longer than him. And the politicians that we are electing today do not care on the F&M side and the PLP. They don't believe in the traditional family. And you speak often about the traditional family. So tell the former minister, suck it up. It's the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth.
Hi, brother. I am absolutely lost as to what he's talking about, but only I can be able to touch on the city of gold. And I'd rather not touch on that. Let's move on. Let's move on to something else. No, I've given consideration to it.
You've given consideration?
I've given consideration to serve no matter the color. I have. Can I say that I'm going to be very honest with you? I have, especially after my relentless studies, I believe that the PLP has drifted from what we know of them, 67, 73, 77, what our expectations were of them, that they curbed in 87 and tried to revive themselves in 2002. That didn't work. And the reemergence of them in 2021 is rather refreshing in comparison to what we've seen prior, right? So I often say that I don't believe that the constitution of any organization is corrupt. I believe that there is a mindset and a tradition, a rhythm that exists within organizations that people call an unspoken rule that has a tendency to be able to buoyant and floats to the top, that people grab a hold of rather than being able to look a little bit deeper for what the organization stands for. It's the same organization that Hubert Ingram came from. It's the same organization that Loftus Roker, same organization that Milo Butler, A.D. Hanna, Paul Adderley. This is the same organization. So you cannot tell me that this is innately corrupt organization. You can tell me that sometimes we lose our identity. Sometimes we lose our way. And I believe that, especially with the re-emergence of what we've seen the chairman do as it relates to being able to have aspirants move up and prepare themselves, so forth and so on, and kind of shifting their constitution. See, when I talk like this, then Anton can call me and say, Howard, I want to thank you for being a PLP sympathizer. No, I'm not a sympathizer. I just try to look at it very clearly. And I believe that the organization has identified, they haven't articulated it, I can tell you the truth. They haven't said this, but they have identified some of the indifference and doing their best to kind of change that. Now, I do believe that the opposite is happening for the Free National Movement.
The caller said something, though, that's very valid, though, and we have to give him credence. And you made this explicitly clear on one of your previous shows, Howard Grant. He mentioned that some of the members of Parliament, they're not meeting the mark. And we know this in the PLP to be very true. There's a number of them who are non-ignorant role. What makes the difference, as you stated earlier, is the leadership.
Leadership.
The leadership of the PLP is definitely much stronger than that of the Free National Movement. The bench is so much deeper than the Free National Movement, and I only can.
If you look at numbers, of course, by number alone.
And what's frightening to me is that I was wondering to myself, where was the recruitment exercises in the Free National Movement to attract the talent necessary to continue the progress, the future of the Free National Movement? Where was the infrastructure? Who were they leaning on?
I can say this. You can give me 2 seconds and we have to go to break. I see the lines lit up.
Mm-hmm.
Segregation has never left this country. Segregation has never left. They have modified that and tucked it away in different subsectors of society. So they don't tell you can't live here, they just make it more expensive. So that's economic segregation. The Free National Movement has practiced, whether that as a result of the UBP and their exposures, they have practiced. Watch this, they don't even know this. A lot of them are going to call me and cuss me, but they have practiced some level of segregation, educational segregation.
Where, in the FNM?
In the Free National Movement.
I'm educated.
They have identified, not that you couldn't get in there if you're uneducated, but they have identified, and you yourself knew that you couldn't be a part of this organization if you don't know how to pronounce this word. You don't know what this means. If you haven't gone off to school, if you haven't done this, you knew that if you ever had an opportunity, a desire to become a part of the Free National Movement, you had to prepare yourself for that. They've lost that mark. Right? And they, like the church now, come as you are. But the difference between the church and the Free National Movement is that educates you and then you be ye transformed. The Free National Movement just wants you to come as you are, not identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats, not placing you where you're supposed to be. Now they having hell on their hand internally in the organization. Because of people how you allow to just flock to the forefront without being able to have that measure, that mark and understanding of what the organization stands for. That's just what it is. The PLP doesn't have that problem. On the break, we talked about this. The PLP has subgroupings.
Yes.
The subgrouping said, listen, this is where you are. We'll put you to the top of this. The reason why you don't have no infighting and boiling out to the front, because even in the subgroupings, you're well taken care of. They take care of you. And that's it. The last issue in 2017 that they said to Hubert Alexander Minnis is in every church service I ever been to. Minnis, take care of your people. Take care of your people. And the first thing he did was forget his people. This is the Free National Movement. Let's have a good conversation about this, guys. Let's talk about this. I want to be transparent. Somebody tell me I'm biased, which I think is a bananas thing. But we can talk about it a little bit more. Let's take this commercial break and get to news and be right back after this.
Deck the halls with paint from Kelly's House and Home. Shop early for all your paint supplies during the holiday fix-up sale now through December 24th. Save 25% on house and spray paint and 20% on paint supplies, except on net items. Our selection of paint colors is a delightful way to spread holiday cheer throughout your home. From December 1st through 24th, we're open Mondays through Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Shop Kelly's Holiday Paint Sale going on now. Happy holidays from Kelly's House and Home.
Unlock dream deals this Black Friday at Alive with up to 55% off select Ring devices. Instantly upgrade your home security with 24/7 remote monitoring, motion detection, and instant alerts. Want full protection? Save even more by bundling your devices. From the front door to the backyard, secure your home with products like our Video Doorbell 4 and floodlight cameras. Shop online at BeAlive.com or at select Alive stores in Nassau and now available in Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera, and Exuma. Alive. Believe in best.
Let me ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Pam.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Is your money safe?
It's under my bed, so I guess so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why?
Unless your money is in a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation, there's no guarantee it's safe.
Yeah, but what if something happens to the bank?
Your Bahamian dollar deposits are insured up to $50,000, so you'd still be ahead. Plus, your mattress might catch fire. Then what?
Man, those banks and credit unions are looking good right about now.
Visit the DIC's website at www.dic.bs. Protection for your money, guaranteed with DIC.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Laid Back Friday, the best we can possibly do. Try our best to kind of chill out in the Christmas season. Rode around last night, take my children to see Christmas lights. I'll put up some more.
Yeah, gas prices gone down. You can fill up that big truck and ride, eh?
We was riding. Last night we had a good time. My kids went out. We bought some Christmas holiday stuff to be able to put in the house in preparation to get I got to get my tree.
Money floating, boy.
You wilding out, sir.
Money floating.
You wilding out. You know, my kids, one's 17 and the youngest one is 1. And beyond money, whether or not we have it or don't have it, it's important that we build memories. I believe in that. I believe in the fact that I don't want there to be in time to always look back that we lived in lack. You can't have faith and not step. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you are faithful to know that you're covered and then living like a Junso. I mean, just me. I don't know. It's just me. That's just a principle I have. And guess what? Every time I give, I get. That's just me. Now, I don't know how y'all live. I don't know which God you serve. I don't know where your mind is. I don't know which church you've been to. But every time I give, I get. Even when I go through trial and tribulation. And so we're going to have a good time. It's Christmas time. Praise God.
Praise God.
Somebody just texted me and said, that big house you got, you need to be able to fill it up with children.
Ooh,
and why you don't? This is you. This is what
Me?
they text me about you. I let
But
you.
me?
Yeah, that's what he said.
They talking my business?
I swear, honest to God.
So they want me juice and make children, or they don't want me juice?
I don't know. I don't know.
But
I don't know what people. Just
why
tell
people
you
talking my
how
business?
people get deep in your business, and they go on Anton also. I don't know if they know your facility.
Anyhow.
I don't know.
Anyhow, listen, Howard Grant, I'm listening to the conversation. There's someone that actually texted you and said that they believe. From what I'm understanding from my own good Bahamian people, there are exceptions to the rule. But for the most part, most people that I know are very well concentrated on their very own endeavors and their future. Nobody that I know personally in my circle wants to be a loser. I recall growing up most of my life, Howard Grant, as a Los Angeles Lakers fan. I quit watching sports when the Lakers lost. They had Karl Malone and all the big boys on one team. I said, man, Jesus, I know we're going to win the championship this year. And that year we lost. And
Which year was this? 80?
Jesus. I watched sports, so I can't even tell you.
No, I think I remember.
I was very disappointed. Karl
I was a
Malone
little boy when I
was
was
on my
watching
team,
this.
Shaquille O'Neal. And man, come on, how the heck we can lose? And they lost. What I'm saying to you, though, is that right after they lost, look at the different people. Oh, I was a Suns fan. Oh, I was a Miami Heat fan. They went from the Lakers to the Heat. Ain't nobody used to be no Heat fan. We were Boston, Philadelphia, and Lakers. I watched these people, they Patriots fans for football. All of a sudden, I think for next team in the other day, he said, I don't watch sports. But these people ain't that loyal, is what I'm trying to say to you. So for someone to say that you are biased, I'm asking the question now, why can't Howard Grant look out for his family? Why can't you join a team that makes sense? If you want to attract intelligent people, people who can empower your organization, people who can take you into the future, you have the responsibility of laying the infrastructure and the framework to attract such people.
Yes.
I am an intelligent person. I am not going to join a failing F&M.
What was you initially attracted to? Which organization were you initially attracted to?
I've always been like in the middle, but I went to the Progressive Liberal Party for a friend one night, and the person said, "Come to Gambia House with me," and I did go, and I could confess my sins. I got another call from a from a female friend of mine. She said, "Man, come give me a visit," and so I detoured.
Politically?
No, this is
She
not
was in
politics. I just detoured, and so I said, "Man, the following week." The friend asked me to come again. It was on a Tuesday night. And I said, man, yeah, I can come because, I could slip away. And the fellow held my hand, held me down, and I sat in Gambia House that night. And I found myself watching the PLP tear each other apart. I mean, they were throwing chairs and rowing and fuss. I said, what type of thing this is? And I stood up that night. I just stood up. And I made a speech. The handwriting is on the wall. This was in 2010. I think the Ives of March, somewhere thereabout. And the whole place erupted and everything. My God, what a speech. From that point on, I found myself involved when Mr. Christie came to the back of the room and shook my hand, he and Bradley Roberts. And I said, man, that was an amazing speech. Who are you? Who are your people? You know, my people ain't nobody. My mom from Megwater. You know my mom from Megwater. She worked for Commonwealth Bank. She was a manageress. She moved out the country in 1989. So I ain't from no political family. But my mom and pa was F&M because we lived in Bamboo Town. We were Tennyson Wells people. And so I found myself sitting in a group of people called the caucus. And we started to strategize the by-election when Malcolm Adderley sat down. That's how I got into politics. And been in it ever since. I went into Carmichael. I had City of Gold and Gold Rush from a slogan for City 2000. Met with some of the brethren downtown. Mr. Christie called me to his house on a Thursday. I remember that day. And said, man, Garth, I need that nomination from you for Carmichael. And I shook Danny Johnson's hand that night in Gambia House. He took the nomination and went forward. That was the end of me. So that's how I got into politics. That's how I...
So you've always been identified from your speech to move to the forefront of politics. They've never identified you as a speechwriter.
No, I've never been identified.
They've always identified you as someone who could move to a position of authority in the organization and possibly run a constituency. Talk to me about
that. That is possible, yes.
That was the kind of conversations that we were having.
Yeah, but as you said very well, the PLP is very good at managing the various...
They watch you.
Yeah,
They know you got skills. Somebody came to me, I can be decent as possible. I can try to be decent. It's Friday, so let's take our time. Somebody came to me and they says to me, I told Brave Davis that you're going to be coming here, right? So I say, what? So they say, and Brave says to me, Howard Grant supports the PLP. So he say, which was hilarious when he said that to me. Because it said to me all in that one quick sentence that he listens to what I say, or there are people who are conveying this information and they assess it through one lens or another. And through the assessment, they know my family, they know my background, and they expect me to move in a particular direction. However, and I say, well, how you could say this information to these people? I don't know. I don't support no political organization, right? So I'm only saying that to say to you is that the assessment that people make with you is to place you in a particular grouping. They assess you.
That's correct.
They watch you, they watch your actions, and they put you...
And they
the
know...
PLP has been masters at that.
They know who to send to you.
Listen, the PLP has been masterful at that.
I've never gotten an invitation from the F&M
The
for anything.
The old F&M is very good at that, I must tell you the truth.
The old one?
The old F&M is good at that.
I've never got an invitation from the new one.
And they send people close to you, and then they say, hey, listen, let's have a conversation.
Man, listen.
You can always quantify whether or not this is a
Not
good
only that, Howard, when they call you, you sit and eating food.
Yeah.
Or you can eat some sauce.
No, but that's a principle. They got to break bread with you. They got to break bread with you. That's a principle.
Yes.
If ain't nobody breaking bread with you, they see no real conversation.
And they pulling you in, and my God, you feel like I'm a part of the family.
Yeah. So I only say that to say, I believe that the PLP has kind of lost their image over the years, and I think that they're doing their best to kind of regain that. But I believe that the Free National Movement, because of the internal fighting, and let's get on this conversation, because of the internal fighting, they don't have the time to even stop to do any kind of introspection in the organization.
They do.
They don't have the time.
They do.
Listen to me.
They do. I'll tell you how to do it.
No one ever I told you and I talked about this. I said to you, if Ricardo Grant don't win on the 22nd, the 23rd, the thing start.
If Jacob and
Esau... It wasn't 7 days.
If Jacob and Esau can make up, anybody can make up. I believe that.
Yeah, but suppose the skin and Abel. Abel is dead.
Yeah, but he ain't dead yet. I think we still have time.
The only redemption you have is the blood that cries out to God. That's it.
Could I tell you just a quick short story quickly so they can hear? Anton Thompson, I'm going to call the name. His dad, Ezra Thompson. I had already given the nomination to Dr. Danny Johnson. So I was invited to Ezra's birthday party on Carmichael Road. Now, when I went there, I was just going to a party. The Prime Minister, Perry Gladstone Christie, was there. Mr. Ezra Thompson, his wife, and the family was there. And I got to the door, and Howard Grant, I kid you not, I felt like royalty. I mean, everyone's like, oh, Carter's here, Mr. Roseborough's here. The whole living room just lit up like I was a celebrity. So they started to usher me towards the table where Perry Christie was sitting. Dr. Danny at the table. He wasn't sitting, he had no seat there. And I was escorted on the right side of Sir Lyndon while Ezra sat on the left side. And I sat. And I'm like, my God.
You think this thing
I say, my God.
You think it's a true roommate?
This is like the triumphal entry.
You need to stop it. You always get so...
And I'm saying to you, man, the friendship, the strength, the energy, everything about that said to me, loyalty is of its most importance. And that is the type of energy the FNM now needs. Could I find loyalty? Could I find friendship? Could I depend on you? That conversation has to happen.
That's heavy stuff.
Because guess what? You could never get me to go against Prime Minister Christie for that.
That's heavy stuff.
And I will always talk about Ezra Thompson and his lovely family wife because they've extended love to me that's unconditional. That's what it's all about.
I like it. Let me take a telephone call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Mr. Grant, how are you, sir?
I'm good, my brother. What's happening?
Mr. God Burroughs.
Hey, my brother.
Boy, you're talking good talk today. I tell the people, I always tell people you was a BLP.
I see that.
And they say, oh my God, and he's a DNA, he's a that, he's a... I say, no, man, it's a PLP.
You say one PLP thing and you call you, my God, you're talking good. Go ahead.
Man, but listen, no, you're talking good. But what I called you for, Howard, you said that Mr. Ingram never fired nobody. He fired Ken Russell.
No. He did not fire Ken Russell.
Man.
He did not fire Ken Russell. Ken Russell fired himself.
Oh, well, he's put in a position to fire himself.
I tell you that. That's why I said that. The first person I come in my mind when I said Ingram don't never fire you, you fire yourself is Ken Russell. That's the first thing that popped up in my head.
So what about
He fired Perry Puch. He fired Arjun and Hallett.
Brandville fired himself. Every one of these people you call.
Get fired.
No. Brand fired himself.
Remember that article in the paper? Bring the car. You remember that one? Bring the car.
And they fired Ken Russell on a piece of toilet paper.
Hold on. I sat in the council meeting. Right? I can let you go. I sat in a meeting in Grand Bahama at Mary Star of the Sea School.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my Elkina Pinder, he passed away now. Elkina actually assisted me to run for the DNA because he had left the Free National Movement after 2007, 2008, so forth.
Remember him
so
and
on.
his beautiful wife. Yes.
Elkina and his beautiful wife.
Yes.
Elkina stood up in the meeting and say, him and Ken was very good for, listen, him and Ken was chummy. They was tight.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Ken must he let something slip to Elkina. Elkina don't know how to hold his mouth in the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Right? That mouth
so he talked, get loose, and everybody eye pop open wide.
Mm-hmm.
This was about the Blue Shark Project, the Shark Rock Project in West Grand Bahama that was being discussed in cabinet. It wasn't even, the information hadn't even been released yet. Hubert Ingram looked at Ken. Ken put his head down. I said, oh my God, he finished. That was it. That was it. I was in the meeting then. Because you know my mother was a member of parliament during that time.
Yes.
I was in the meeting then. And I say this to say to you that he only gives you rope, my brother. He only gives you rope. Rules and regulations apply. And if every one of these names that you call, I could tell you where the rope existed. Let's take a next telephone call.
Judas hung himself in a tree.
Let's take a next telephone call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
And your special guest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How about you ain't lying about the FNM, though?
Okay.
It take a strong leader. It's so much fractions.
That's it.
It's like Iraq. As tough as you can, you have to be tough to keep them together.
The FNM like Gaza.
Oh, Jesus, boy. Maybe we can tell a story, boy.
I know for I attended the University of Woodford. I attended St. Walter's Whitfield for his rally on Christie Park.
Scud Messiah.
Oh, Successful was the head of fire. He was like a lion. But he was not he wanted to be prime minister too. So all the FNFs are UPPs and disloyal or upper class black people who don't want the black people to get some money too.
So you say there's Uncle Tom's, that's what you said?
Yes, most of them are.
You are wilding out.
Okay, I'm a UPP.
You're wilding out.
So they want to change. Under the 67 became the middle class black. Because you had to be a white to be on Bay Street back before that. You had to be white, black girls can sell nothing on Bay Street besides be maid or seamstress.
No.
That was my mother.
I don't fight the
No, the PLP did that.
I don't. No. Watch me. That was a false economy, and it continues to be. Watch me. It continues to be a false economy. If you believe that you're in middle class and you only exist from the purse of the government, you ain't do nothing on your own, but privately, you expect 5 years that your government go, you can't eat. You're not in the middle class.
No, a lot of
you are dependent on the government.
Listen, my mother was one of them. Her choice to become a seamstress or a maid was her choice. Under the PLP, she went from upstairs to the basement to the best sales girl on Bay Street, open up her own business, and become a millionaire. Her white boss in Winton, house sits on 5-piece. Hers down the street on 3-piece. She built cash.
My God.
And she said all of us off to school because of her hard work. We had choices because of the PLP. But I don't, it's like the PLP lost the story. So now let's say Rihanna said, let's go. He needed rep. Remember now, 87, the CIA was here. Because we know it because of Miss Carrot Boyle, Hylett, the ambassador, fly a government jet here. What I tell you, Howard, she is a government worker. And she was speaking to Penland. The CIA was coming meeting in Life and Key. I mean, just corrupting the story because they wanted Penland gone. And if he had go, the PLP would still be in the power now.
No, I don't.
Let's say if Papa to stay in the PLP.
He wasn't going to.
Because if Penland did not go.
He wasn't going to.
How to tell us, Penland, let's
in 1982.
US government one is gone.
In 1982. When I tell you, text him the other day. Appreciate the telephone call, my brother. In 1982, when Sean McQueenie was being touted, I think it was 82, right? When Sean McQueenie was being touted by the then Prime Minister Lyndon Pinland to the Council of the PLP to indicate that they wanted him as chairman, and Perry Christie and Hubert Ingram, who supported Buller, who was the vice president for the longest time and wanted him to move towards chairmanship. When Hubert Ingram and the like decided to be able to support Buller, that was the beginning of the end, and they knew it. They knew it. That was the beginning of there could be no way. Right after that, you see the Beacon paper come out. Right after that, you saw these agitation and advocation to be able to do that. Then you heard the what's his name? Former Prime Minister Ingram taking on the position of being able to vie independently in North Abaco. Then you saw him continue to be able to travel all over the place to have conversations about the capability. This was being seen by other political organizations, and Cecil knew him. They knew him.
Now, I'm listening to you, Howard, and I want some clarity if I could.
This was the proverbial gate, okay? Lyndon Pinland could not get beyond 1992. That was it.
I'm listening to you. Pre-Hubert Alexander Ingram, you spoke about strengths that existed in the Free National Movement, yes? Post-Hubert Alexander Ingram, what type of strength is now necessary to have the formula or the mechanism to bring a victory back to the Free National Movement?
Hard times build strong men. Easier times build soft men. It was a hard time that the country was going through trial and tribulation. Whether or not the PLP would like to admit it or not, the time that we were grappling with freebasing and rock.
There was a recession too.
And cocaine.
There was a recession.
And this idea of liberty and whether or not the people would move in a particular direction, it was a hard time socially for people. On one hand, you were making good money. On the next hand, you were actually demoralizing and eroding the character that existed in this country. It was a hard time. And that hard time really grew strong men. Strong men who had the conviction to be able to speak up and out against what was happening.
Are times hard now?
When Hubert Ingram came in 1992 and with the innovation and creativity and concepts and ideas and opening the airwaves and even the repeating the about land reform and so forth and so on, all these issues that people continue to be able to talk about, whether you like it or you don't like it, it was decisions. And that decisions made there, inclusive of what was happening globally, because this was an economic boom in 1992. It was doing good under Bill Clinton. was doing good. Everybody was making money. This was the introduction of computers, so forth and so on. The world was moving towards a technological advancements. Things were happening. We were the beneficiaries of that. Introduction of 3 phases for Atlantis. All these things were happening. Boom. The country was going well. We was making money in Grand Bahama. The magic was on. It was easy at times, which created soft men. Soft men with relentless dependency on leadership, who was hard. And so they continue to genuflect to Hubert Ingram for answers and never dive within themselves to find out what their true calling was.
So you're saying that presently they soft?
Presently, this is the residue of the men of yesteryear. And now we're going through hard times. The next dispensation of leaders will be hard leaders, strong leaders.
I agree with your call. You need to go into politics and run again. I have observed you. I've observed politicians of today. And I'll be very frankly honest with you, Howard. As much as I've been trained for battle, I ain't interested no more in battling. Our people have to understand that we cannot settle for just mediocrity. And as long as you're settling for mediocrity, it's very difficult for people like myself to want to give our all, knowing that it's not going to be fully appreciated. Yes, there are those that would, but the nonsense that we're seeing politically today, unacceptable. I don't ever want to be a part of that.
I can't throw everybody in one bucket, though.
That's why I said the exceptions to the rule.
I like some of these guys.
But the encouragement necessary at this particular time, the Bahamian people now need to, number one, go
they scared
and
them because
register.
they're not strong men.
First of all, register to vote. Secondly, stop pulling people down who have the ability to lift everyone else up. Until we get to that point, it's going to be a difficult climb. But I know you can do it, Howard. You're heavy lifter.
I could do what?
Oh, you're a big guy, man.
You know what my
people
shoulders
believe in
built
you.
for? My wife and 4 children on the shoulders. Praise God. I lift them up. And if this is
But you're
called-
lifting up a whole nation right now. You're on the air. They're listening to you.
This is the purpose that God has called me to. I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to do what I've been called to do because I only get a little short time here.
These people don't even know if you're going gold or you're going red. That's all they want to know.
Wilding out. Let's take a commercial break. Let's take a commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after this.
Every day, countless Bahamians fall asleep hungry. But by working together, we can change this.
AML has committed $20,000 to provide nutritious meals for those in need during the holiday season.
As the holidays approach, help spread love and hope by supporting AML's 8th annual Feed 5000 program.
Donate today at any Solomon's, Fresh Market, Crossrite, Exuma Market, and Domino's Pizza.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Guardian Radio and the Foundation are on the move.
Bahamas, this one's for you.
SBT, Small Business Thursdays. Every Thursday, the Foundation with Howard Grant will highlight small businesses throughout the country, far and wide. Your products, services, prices, and personality. We want to hear it all. Get your 30 or 60-second advertisement heard on air at a fraction of the cost. We here at the Foundation understand the times and don't want you to be left behind. With Guardian Radio, you reach your specific demographic and it is unmatched.
We reach thousands daily.
Get your products off the shelf and your services in their hearts. Small Business Thursdays with the Foundation, only on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. For more information, call 302-2300 or the Help Me Howard line at 827-0111. SBT. Small Business Thursdays. Get your business moving today.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5299. 267.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, the foundation. I can give you a little nugget. My grandmother will be 95 years old tomorrow, December 9th. 95 years old tomorrow, December 9th. She was born in 1928.
That's a lot of numbers, Howard.
December 9th, 1928.
On to the web shop.
She's 95 years old tomorrow.
Got a hit.
Happy birthday to Merlene Diana Grant Smith.
Mercy.
I love her very much. That's my grandmother. She's going to be 95. My mother called me last night and asked me if I coming home. Mama, you wilding all the way out. You think I got... I don't have it like that.
You just say you love the woman, though.
I love her from here and there.
So you got to sell some children and go and see your
Sell
grandmother.
children?
Them children what you love? You making plenty more, right? So much more you want.
No, I ain't making no more. I just got a new mattress, by the way. Let me be decent, right? Let me be decent. Ladies and gentlemen, lines are wide open. It's a laid-back Friday. We're talking politics and being able to see exactly where we are. The one thing I'd like to be able to say, the one person I see in the organization that sits, that can be able to retain a seat significantly. We haven't said this. We haven't said this.
Watch out.
The one person who I see in the organization that has an opportunity to, even by default, creep to leadership by being able to forge relationships.
You can put that person in trouble, you know.
Shannon Cartwright. That's it. He can play the proverbial peacemaker. That's it.
I
retain your position. This is strategy, sir. This is what it is.
But I can challenge that thought.
He's the only person in the organization who very clearly, no matter if it's pronounced or subtle, that you think will move towards leadership, he's never shifted to that. Never. Dwayne Sands, every time we hear from Doc, my good friend, he was just here with me the other day, every time we hear from Doc, the phone lines light up. Boom! When he gets towards leadership.
Okay.
When you couple that with the fact that we've already seen support from Hubert Alexander Ingram for Dwayne Sands, and that kind of contrast that existed for Ingram and how he still ascended to leadership and how that can happen for Dwayne Sands, no matter what Dwayne say.
Howard, I know you understand politics very well, but there are some missing ingredients in terms of ascending to leadership and succeeding. We see it very clearly right now with a very talented Michael Pintard. You know, he has his own capabilities, his own abilities. He's excellent at his craft, but
one element he missed.
He's missing some elements. Now, I'm just
a significant element that people continue to talk about that he's missed, in my view, is that he may not necessarily be a people's person.
Okay. Now,
this is heavy enough.
Now, to respond to what you just said, Mr. Shannon Cartwright is one of the sharpest young men that I know. He is extremely talented. He's very cordial. When you meet him, he's going to pull you in. He's good at that. But please understand where he now sits in St. Barnabas. I don't know Barnabas to be a F&M stronghold. He has done well. They have thanked him by re-electing him. He's done well again. But right now, sitting in opposition, I am not certain with the nature of our Bahamian people that they're willing to thank him one more time. You're going to see
but people say give thanks when you give them something.
Yeah, but you're going to see a more aggressive Michael Alcides in 2026. I do believe...
He then start giving on the computer.
Okay, he already started. And of course, as people look at the trajectory of the Progressive Liberal Party moving forward, you see a party that's getting stronger every day.
They don't want to see, people don't want to hear that, you know.
Well, they don't
Nobody want to hear that the PLP is, they are gung ho all aboard.
But why?
And moving with
Why?
swiftness.
Because there's nothing to retard their growth.
They are a magnet, and they're pulling young people from left, right, and center on this SSPLP train to 2026.
You're trying to get me in trouble on this show because I can tell you right
People
now.
don't say use a PLP. Go ahead. Let me hear it.
But I can tell you what I can say to you. God help the FNM if a Shannon Cartwright was to cross the floor now and retain St. Barnabas, they'll vote for him again in the PLP. I'm guaranteeing you that. That would be
That wouldn't be a
saving
good
grace.
move in my view.
No, it wouldn't be a good move in your view, but in his view, that may be the best move. You see, because you're sitting from the outside
We can't make
looking
a
in.
determination what his view is.
No, I'm not going to do that, but I know he sits right now as the deputy leader of the Free National Movement.
What value that he has to go into the PLP?
What value does he have now in the FNM?
He is the deputy leader of the organization.
Show me his deputyship in the FNM. Show me his strengths in the FNM right now.
His
Let me hear
position,
that.
watch me now.
We have
Let's
not
be very
heard from
clear.
Shannon Cartwright.
Let's be
man.
very clear.
We have not heard from him.
Let's be very
We
clear.
have not
about
felt
this.
him.
Watch me. Let's be very clear, right? It's only because out of sight, out of mind. It's a
Who's
principle,
out of sight?
Right?
Who's out of sight?
He's working in his constituency trying to retain that position.
But in the party, nationally, talk to me.
There's nothing happening in the party. The party's fractured.
So I'm saying to you, your ship going down and you trying to tell me we going on a cruise?
But if I look at you, if you leave in when it's hard time, your organization, to be able to join mine in an easier time, I could never trust you.
Listen.
I could never trust you.
Listen.
Because you're only looking for slackness.
I
could never trust
man,
you.
this is the Bahamas. Renwood Wells crossed the floor. Vaughn Miller crossed the floor. You want to go down the list of people who crossed the floor?
None of them have had deputy leaders position within the Free National Movement, an established organization. He is a deputy leader in the Free National Movement.
So what you trying
a
to tell
government
me?
that has won significantly over the course of time.
With who? With who is the leader?
It don't matter.
It does matter.
That don't matter.
Bob Marley told us best, I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Now you ain't got no doggone sheriff, Mr. Deputy.
No, the
Talk to me.
sheriff's still living.
You
Why did you kill the sheriff?
But the sheriff ain't doing nothing. You just said that just a while ago, the party falling apart.
But that ain't mean that the party doesn't, listen to me. I started off to saying that his ability to be able to forge the right relationships within the fractures can always be able to identify him as the peacemaker. And if he's the peacemaker, going from one party to another, going from one house to another, touching people, saying, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? No, I'm just saying, hypothetically.
That's exactly what you're doing, hypothetically.
But this is only could be hypothetical.
Man,
this is a conversation we have on the radio. The ability that he has and the position that he has, he can be able to pull people together. He can do what Dwayne Sands can't. Some people ain't gonna let Dwayne in the door because they know that he has ulterior motives. Nobody know what Shannon Dawn's objectives are, so they can let him in. And as soon as they open the door to their house, they open the door to their heart. Shannon Dawn is the only person who could be able to take this thing.
Could I say something boldly? The same people who support Dr. Sands would have to support Shannon Dawn Cartwright. And if they do not support Shannon
Who are
Dawn
the people that
Cartwright,
support
I ain't
Dr.
talking my
Sands?
business.
Who are the people that support Dr. Sands?
I ain't talking that.
Dr. Sands, I came here when he and I had a conversation. He said, with no uncertainty, I said, well, there are some people who support you. He said, well, a lot of people support me, but I support Michael Pintard. In so many words. I support relentlessly Michael C. Pintard towards leadership.
Okay.
And that's what he's relentlessly been able to always genuflect to leadership, despite what's being said about him externally. So when you say the people who support Dr. Sands, who are these people?
Okay, let me reverse just a little bit. Let me take the ship and reverse the ship for you. Let's go fast forward to 2026 as we are now. Could the Free National Movement, with the leadership of Michael Pintard,
It's absolutely impossible.
Deputy Leader Shannon
Free
Dawn
National Movement
Cartwright,
cannot win like this.
and Dr. Dwayne Sands win the next general election?
The Free National Movement cannot win with this current position in the organization.
Now-
they have to level out.
Now watch the ability.
They must level out.
The ability you spoke about of Mr. Shannon Dawn Cartwright being able to pull and make peace in the party, that should have been done yesterday.
No.
And it should have been practiced today if it's going to happen tomorrow. The fact that it did not yet happen, I am saying to you, You're on a sinking ship. I'm not asking you this, Mr. Howard Grant.
But you don't.
This is your show, but I telling
Listen.
you gonna make me Miss Cleo for you.
No. Watch
Call
me.
me
Watch
now,
me.
because I can tell you what time it is.
I don't care if the Titanic going down, baby. We play it. This our ship. We don't jump ship. If leadership, see, to identify the strength in leadership.
There's no more ship, Howard.
To identify the strength in leadership, you have to be able to make that determination in good and in bad. That's the first thing.
Oh Jesus, Howard, you don't know your baby people, eh? They only go and winning ships.
But see, your character honorability has
Character?
to do more than
I agree with
just
you.
being able to be an opportunist. You don't want people to see you in the lens of an opportunity. You need them to see you decisive and strategic, methodical in your approach to move and ascend towards leadership. You cannot be casual. You have to be strategic. And your strategy starts today. There's no expectation with, especially as Dr. Dwayne Sands indicated, the spirit that exists, this dissident spirit that floats from left to right within the Council of the Free National Movement. That's what it is. It's a dissident spirit.
But you going around in circles.
They're ready to bite at you. You can't allow that dissident spirit to be able to identify just jumping from left to right. You have to stand steadfast. Hubert Ingram did it. Hubert Ingram, who did not ascend to a position of significant leadership other than being able to be a part of the cabinet of the PLP in 82 or in the early 80s, and then ascended towards leadership in the Free National Movement. This man didn't leave the Free National Movement yet.
Why?
Right up to the point right now where people will see him on the boat with his former law partner,
Why?
in the person of Prime Minister Brave Davis, and indicate whether or not he's providing counsel for Brave Davis towards leadership. And he says, with no uncertainty, he's a Free National Movement member. He's a man. You don't jump ship. You don't. Leaders don't leave. Leaders lead.
So,
and even if that's leading from the back, they stay here and stay committed to their party. Shannon Cartwright has an opportunity in a strategic position to be able to take over this thing. Let me take a telephone call because I'm talking way too much. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Howard.
And I appreciate you waiting. I just had to get that out. This
No,
man.
Howard, you disrespect me as an adult. I feel for you today. Because I was trying, what I even wanted to say, I done forgot.
Get him, brother. Get him, brother. Please help me.
You got on your alligator coat. You saying the lines are wide open.
I apologize. Go ahead, man. Don't fight me. Just blame God. He didn't start.
I feel bad, Howard.
Right, sorry about that.
Because I've been waiting a long time.
It's Christmas time. I can buy you an eggnog later.
I was trying to get in your last conversation and couldn't make it now. And I forgot what all I wanted to say.
My God.
And that you had me on the line for over about 45 minutes.
What? No, man, that couldn't be that.
That's right. I've been trying to call and I've been waiting.
Go on
but
now.
If I was C. Allen or Fountain.
You trying to jog your memory, eh? You trying to jog your memory? I see what you're doing.
If I was C. Allen or Fountain, they would have got through.
My God.
No, man, you can't disrespect adults like that.
I apologize, sir.
And you my good cousin.
I appreciate you. You're a decent man.
Robert Speedwood.
Okay, I'm not going to fight you. Go ahead.
Okay, but amen. Listen. Anyway, I still got one I could remember.
Okay, praise God. Let's get it.
When you become minister, an MP, I want you to become minister of works. Because I want you to go around and take care of our government buildings. I rode past the Ministry of Education last night, and they got trees and bush growing out of the roof. And we supposed to have sensible people go to that building every day. And the tree has had to been there for about at least 3 or 4 years for how big it is. And all it takes is for you to get a man with an extended piece of equipment to go up there and clean that roof. And nobody, and they want to talk about they setting up education for the Bahamas. And they drive to that building every day, and nobody think enough to go clean the roof. Now, you know what's going to happen? The tree root is going to crack the building.
Yeah.
And then when they bring in an offer contracts to fix that, the man will tell them they got to tear the whole building down, and that's $100 million.
You got to fix that.
So I can't understand for the life of me why nobody ain't move all that bush growing on top of the Ministry of Education.
But that's the issue, you know. The issue is the same way the Chinese gift in the stadium. You have to wait till the Chinese can come back, fix the stadium. My God, maintenance has always been an issue.
They won't be on the radio and TV talking to us like they got sense. And something as simple as cleaning the roof, they can't get that done.
My God.
So I can't respect them.
My God. I appreciate your call, my brother. He's a good, decent man.
Howard, please don't say the lines are open no more today.
The lines are open.
No.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate the telephone call.
See, Alan trying to get through too. See, Alan
to
Johnson, he's trying to get in. That's him just texting me.
Right, let me see if I can be able to read a couple of these texts. So it says, 095 in Georgia. Play at $10 straight. One box. So y'all doing a lot, right? For my Grammy 95 tomorrow, right? So it says, not the man who say everybody know how this shifty contract awards go, right? I'm not going to fight him, right? Let's go. It says, are you going to continue to pontificate about the subject you seem to be totally off base with, or take calls, right? This text is coming through. So it says, the gentleman that you have on your show is talking fool. He's obviously biased. The 2012 to 2017 PLP government didn't think that the Free National Movement could come back either. Tell the FNM, say sleep on us. Say don't sleep on us. Right? This text is coming through. Says, why are the FNM never boasting about the road improvement projects? Reason being, was the beginning of the destruction of the mid classes, aka small business owners, and the creation of the super wealthy. One man went from declaring $10 one election to declaring $100 million 10 years later. This text is coming through. So it says, good afternoon, Howard. Your guest appears to have more balanced view than yourself. I don't believe that he has an agenda. Let's hear your guest's unbiased views, please, on both parties. None, or I suppose that means none of them have a feet of clay. Okay, I'm not going to fight you on these particular things. Garth, we're talking about these things. So it says, Howard, Shannon Cartwright, as deputy leader, what is saying, let me see if we can open this up. Shannon Cartwright is deputy leader. What he is saying or doing in leadership, Howard, he only win the seat because during the lockdown, he had all the parks and beaches money to help his constituency with food, etc. And after the lockdown, he gave most of them contracts and jobs. I listened to some of them talk why they voted for him. Because they wanted to say thank you. That's gratitude. I don't know. Based upon how you say this.
Like I said, Mr. Cartwright is a decent son of the soil.
He's a good man.
His wife is a great lady. I don't have nothing personally against those people. I'm just simply saying this is politics, man. And I keep saying people take this thing so personal. Listen, the only thing we desire in this country is to do better. They don't want to label me PLP, you want to label me FNM. I know people don't even like me. You then talk about my big house, and you talk about my boat, and you talk about my dog. And it don't matter. I'm nobody. Okay, let me just put it out there. I am nobody, but guess what? I care about you, so I come to this microphone to let you know that I believe in you. I believe in the Bahamas, and if you don't believe in me, that's okay. Guess what? This is my encouragement to you this Christmas. This is my gift to you. Focus on your money. Focus on your money. Nobody cares what type of car you have, what type of house you have, what type of boat you have. What I want you to focus on this Christmas is your health and your money.
Let me read the text. So it says, great show as usual, Howard. Howard, you're incorrect about concerning minutes. The first thing that he did was eat stew fish. And then the second thing he did was forget about the Bahamian people. Y'all want to know. Telephone call on the line. Go ahead.
Howard Grant.
It's a text. I'm not going to fight you. Telephone caller? No? Next caller. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
What? How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, C. Allen?
Yes. Just a quick notes. Right.
Hey, C. Allen.
I think you're absolutely wrong on the FNM. Mm-hmm. I think you may just be locked into the old methodology of public engagement. Now, Howard, right on the Guardian Talk Radio, when it was hosted by Ms. Michelle Malcolm, I said 18 months before that, by September 15th, that the government would be forced to go to a poll. I was wrong by one date because the date was September 16th. I stated it over and over again. And each time as the countdown went on, I said 17 months, 15 months, 12 months. I say to you again that the Progressive Liberal Party, beginning on January 1st, has 18 months to a point of the Bahamian people dismissing them in their minds and in their wallets. Now,
so June 2024. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, 18 months from.
So June 2024.
Yeah,
by June
so
2024.
I anticipate that as soon as they finish the budget debate of 2025, which will be loaded with goodies to misdirect us because it's 18 months. It's 2 years into a governance. And so far, if you look at the blueprint for change, you can't see anything that is progressive being done. Just take, for an example, even the great announcement yesterday concerning the energy.
Mm-hmm.
It is defective at best. There's no strategy for reduction. There's no strategy for long term. You have a prime minister that's leading the climate change. There's no strategy for the 20-year end of life for all of these different things that comes in. There's no assessments or anything that you can say. So essentially you say we're going to install power and we're going to just consume. So you're going to overgenerate. And you may not even have a strategy for integration into future growth or whatever. So you're anticipating this is it. That's the problem, is that you're doing things for the sake of doing it, but there's no strategy for integration.
I don't disagree with you.
I'm saying I would challenge you.
No, I don't disagree with you. I believe that.
I thought you said you did.
No, I don't disagree with you. I agree.
For change.
I agree with Jo Beth Colby in terms of the announcement for the PPPs and opportunities that exist for energy creation in subsectors and sub-islands, so forth and so on. It didn't have anything, but I believe, based upon what we've seen in the past, is that the government provides the framework, and you have to impress them with whatever your projection or idea or your business plan is to say that they can choose you.
But how does an investor comes and develop a national development plan for a government in isolation of the government itself? Because energy is a national development strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it isn't work. I'm sure I can assure you that we will have a conversation going on. But let's just say something about assassins. Do you know that when a bullet is fired from a sharpshooter, the person hit doesn't know, only those around him does. And so this is what you are seeing in the leadership of Mr. Michael Pintard. I can assure you, from my observation, this is what is impressed upon me, his ability to engage the whole next generation of leaders in this country and those individuals who will be building a better Bahamas, the ones that is being left out of this conversation because we're so locked and loaded into the old ways of doing things. If you look at the demographics of the Bahamas, so 60% of the population would have been born since 1981.
So
they are not included in any major conversation.
So let's do this, C. Allen, because I got one more telephone call before we get out of here. Let's do this. If you have a lemonade stand and I have a lemonade stand, and my market sells lemonade, but you have a better product that's natural, so forth and so on in your lemonade stand, but you don't have the marketing, and no one's drinking from yours, does it really matter?
Nope.
What's existed in your thing?
Let me answer so you don't have to delay it. You could go to any marketing people, I'll send it to you afterwards. This is the problem we do. We develop the product and then look for the customers. See, you first find the customers and then you develop the product. Ask anyone in the true business. And so the problem is that the customers, the people of the Bahamas, have always been told what they will have a choice of.
So what you're going to unravel? That means that you'll never move towards leadership. If your responsibility is to educate and unravel the undoing of the PLP.
Howard, you're just not in that circle. This is the problem, and we hear these talks on the show.
But C. Allen, I am on the radio. We talking every single day. Every single day.
How much do you think of that demographics from born since 1981 that you refer to?
I was born in December 1st, 1981.
No. Listen to my question to you. How many of the 60% of the population do you think sits around and listen to radio? Of that demographics, what we call
very
60%?
low.
Okay?
Very low.
They have, that's what I'm saying to you, they have their medium. And so if you're not in that stream...
So how is the Free National Movement reaching them?
They are. That's the proprietary secret.
No, why is it a secret?
See,
is this 11 herbs and spices?
This is a race for rebuilding the Bahamas with a new generation of thinking built for the 21st century. Something that we have had people talking about, not talking to. It's been 2 years. It takes 18 months to send an infrastructure needed to build the blueprint for change. The PLP has yet been started. I'm saying to you, we are close to an economic collapse upon himself. No matter what we say, no matter how you fudge the numbers, you could listen to the S&P, you could listen to Michael Akitis, you listen to everything. The reality of what is happening in our country is being felt, what is being seen by the people. Solutions are needed, and they are being worked on with Mr. Pintard.
I appreciate the telephone call, my brother. Thank you so very kindly for that. I'm not going to fight him. I like what he says because I know that there's always some level, something in there. This may be smoke, but I know I can find some ember in there as I continue to be able to dive deeper to figure this stuff out. But the issue that I have is that you cannot create this kind of a conversation for reform in a silo. You understand? That's what I'm feeling like the Free National Movement is doing. Whatever you're doing, whatever is magnanimous, this kind of a great thing that you're doing, it only exists within a silo. A silo that's also excluding the torchbearers, excluding the organization. So who are you getting? Are you only engaging persons that you, with your foresight, believe that can move towards leadership? Are you going after people like Orinthia Komalafe with the expectation that now I can be able to see the greater thing that you're doing? I don't understand this. Because the PLP simultaneously is working on their strategy and young people running into them every single day.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. On one hand, people coming in. On the other hand, you're saying, we're working on this. It's going to take me 24 months. In 24 months, it's going to be far too late. Quick commercial break. Be right back after this.
This Christmas, Wendy's and Coca-Cola are back with $40,000 in cash and prizes for you. Enter to win your share of $40,000 in cash every week. There are 2 ways to enter after you purchase.
Cash! Give me that cash!
First, fill out your receipt, including the skill questions. Then scan your QR code at the register to upload it. Or visit Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page. Like the Enter to Win link and upload your receipt. Simple as that. Come and get your money.
My money.
Child, Fidelity can on this year with their new festive giveaway. You could win cash, an iPhone 15, get a bill paid off, PS5, all kind of things. Apply for a loan or an ASUS savings account, and you could win. Try our call them now. Here, 356-7764.
You've tried everything. ASUS, with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bf.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Quick text before we get on the air, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, we're going to be able to get these things. Then Howard, we cannot trust anything that C. Allen says anymore. He has already exposed his bias. He labeled himself an FNM. He has been promised some serious stuff and is being employed by the FNM now, singing for his supper. C. Allen, that's a text that's coming through. Don't fight me. So it says, tell C. Allen to shut up. This thing is all caps. Tell C. Allen to shut up. All Pintard is doing is fighting menace. That's it. It's a text that's coming through. All Pintard is doing is fighting menace. Pintard is done. Nothing he said he was going to do. Okay? It's a text that's coming through. So, but see if I can get 30 seconds on this one. Calling on the line with us live, go ahead. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead, caller. Caller, go ahead. No? Let me see if I can be able to read the next text before we get out of here. Says, good afternoon, Howard. And Garth, great show. The Honorable Hubert Ingram would have expelled Dr. Minnis from the Free National Movement now to allow the party to recover before the next general election. The battle for Dr. Minnis is coming for sure. Therefore, Ingram would have moved it forward to save the next general election. Ingram was prime minister when he isolated Granville McCarthy from the Free National Movement. Like Brand's case, Ingram, who would also run a candidate against Dr. Minnis in Kalani next general election. I don't think that that's what happened. All of us observed this thing, but I don't think that that's what happened. It's a psychological game also. When Hubert Ingram stood up in the House and said, if I don't get it, you can get it. That wasn't for him and Perry Christie. That wasn't for him and Perry Christie. That wasn't between the Free National Movement and the PLP. You know what that was for? That was for us, the Bahamian people, to ingrain in our psyche that there's only two organizations in this country. That's it. This is a psychological warfare. Psychological. And you have to know how to play on which side of this fence that you exist. And for the most part, there's only been yellow, red, yellow, red.
My greatest fear, Howard, is that the FNM does not have the ability to weed out the not-so-functioning members of parliament for the Progressive Liberal Party. I think that balance is so necessary to move this country forward. Victory is one thing, but the benefit of the Bahamian people is a different story.
But they can't do that. They're fractured internally.
So you need a new leader.
So whether or not it's a new leader or a new mandate or vision or strategy or mythology or this kind of a kumbaya moment to hold hands and go, I don't know what you have to do, but you got to get it together.
Well, I challenge numerous people to tell me who would be a great and suitable leader for the Free National Movement.
I got some ideas.
I have one or maybe two, but mum was the word for the most. 98% of the people, mum was the word.
I got some good ideas.
But I'll tell you who I like in the Free National Movement now. I like Ellsworth Johnson. I like him. I think he's a nice guy. I think he has ability
but nice
for the future.
guys always finish last.
But I think the minute they
That's
figure
the
that
first
he
thing a
has
woman will tell
potential,
you.
they're going to attack him. See, you can't call people's names on the air because then everyone else attacks. I don't know why we do that. We're not building up anybody. We're just tearing down everybody that makes some sense. So, you know, where do we really want to go in this country, Howard Grant? Let us build those people with the ability to push us forward. That's all I'm simply crying. That's my only cry.
I like that. I think it's important that we identify growth and development. We identify that character that you have to have a spine during this time. That's it.
You got to be strong.
You have to be able to be strong and stand in your convictions and say, come hell or high water, this is what we believe in and this is the course. If you're shifting in your leadership position, if you're shifting from an internal or external standpoint, people are going to question your capability. And this is what's happening to Michael Pinton right now. Not that he doesn't have the capability, but he is being challenged. And we have to level out.
Wasting too much time with the challenge.
You
Chop
have
the head
to
off and
level
move on.
out.
You have to perform as a leader. You cannot waste time fighting.
Wow. Well, guys, that's the show for today. I want you guys to have a beautiful weekend. And we are out of here. Like I said, Magami, she's enjoying her birthday tomorrow. If you are celebrating her birthday, happy birthday to you guys. Have a beautiful time. Whatever you're doing this weekend, all your little parties and whatnot, please be responsible. I don't want to see you all in the papers next week, Thursday. Let's be decent as possible. And we will see you on Monday, God Spare Our Lives, right here on the Foundation.
Good. Sophia Thompson and I think Stephen Burrows has a birthday today. So happy birthday to you guys.
Happy birthday, guys. Have a beautiful day. We're going to see you next time.